What's up, you guys? All right, well, I'm going to do a second recap for today. First recap, I was down 1,300. Second recap, I'm down 8,500. Oh boy. Well, this is typical. And you know what? It's so dumb. It was so completely avoidable if I had just maintained the discipline to stick with what I said I was going to do, which was to walk away. And I'm putting this out there just to show you that there is no such thing as being completely immune to making these kind of mistakes. Now, I've talked about this a lot. Losses happen. Losing money and having a losing trade doesn't necessarily mean it was a mistake. I'll close this, by the way, so you don't get car sick. Sorry. So, having a losing trade, it does not necessarily mean it was a mistake. You know, my accuracy is like 69, 70%. So, you know, the fact is I'm wrong 30% of the time. And those losers are not mistakes. They're just losses that happen. However, when it becomes a mistake, to me, is when you deviate from the rules of the strategy that you set out for yourself. So today, I traded in the morning. I was right on my first trade, $3,000, trading a continuation stock, which is a little riskier because it wasn't one of the top gappers or gainers. In fact, we didn't have good action today on any of the top gappers or gainers. So I came into the open down about $1,300. Trading through the opening range, didn't make any more money really. And then I had a trade on rkda that I got in at about 11.50. The bid dropped to like 10.85. It comes back up and I got out for a $100 loss. Then it breaks 11.50, rips up to 12, goes up to 13, goes up to 14, 15, 16, 17, $18 a share, and I still managed to lose money on it. This is, you would think, impossible, but it's not impossible. What happened for me, and many of you I'm sure can relate to this, is so I had a decent entry at 11.50. And then I got out because it chopped me out. It goes up, it halts twice in a row, up to like 17. Sorry, I'm still under the weather, by the way. So it halts up at like 17, twice in a row, and then it resumes and it halts down. It pulls back quite a bit, and then it holds the 9 moving average, and it curls back up. And I was like, you know what? This is looking good. I got back in. It squeezes back up to 18. It actually halts, or was it 18? I don't know. Anyways, it squeezes back up. It halts up. On resumption, huge volatility. 2 points. Up to 18, down to 16. Huge range. And I added, and immediately was down $1 a share against the bid. And I was like, oh my God. I stopped out. And on that trade, I went from up 1,000 on rkda, and then on that trade, I lost $2,500. So I was like, son of a gun. All right, so I'm back down now to red, like $4,000 on the day. And then it stops me out, and then it comes right back up to where I was in. And this was the moment where I kind of just said, screw it. And that's never a good thing. And I think for me, for sure, being sick and just not feeling well, I just was frustrated and my fuse was shorter today. And I was like, you know what, screw it. So I added back 4,000 shares and it pops up like $1 a share. And then it did the same thing again. And I lost a full $1 a share with the 4,000 shares. I went from down $4,000 to down 8,500. Boom, just like that. Wow. And that was my cue to walk away. So, you know, I deal with this just like any other trader. I've been doing this for such a long time, and you would think at a certain point, you know, that you would never have these kind of days where you trip over your own feet and, you know, make these kind of silly mistakes, but it still will happen. And, you know, maybe I'm not as good as someone else who's been doing this for as long as me. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's someone who's been doing this for, you know, 10 plus years who's got way more discipline than me. And you know what? Good for them. That's awesome. But we all are who we are. Comparing ourselves to other people probably isn't that helpful. And the fact is, for me, I find myself, for sure, getting emotionally triggered while I'm trading. And there are different things that trigger me. Today, my first trade, buying from a hidden seller on a continuation stock and taking a $3,000 loss, that's a trigger. That's very frustrating. Puts me almost to my $5,000 max cutoff, which is below 5,000. I won't take any more trades, which was the same today. So, it right away got me to that point, and then I had no chance of recovery. So today I was green on, I think, 2 stocks, and the winners were tiny, and I was red on 3, I think it was, or maybe 4, and those losers were all a little bit bigger, rkda being the worst. So, and the thing today was, once it was, 11 or whatever time it was, bumpy dirt road, I was like, well, at this point, maybe I should just stick around, because if something does squeeze between now and 1 or 2 o'clock, I certainly don't want to miss it, having already overstayed my welcome. And that's a trap, because that's how you then find yourself sitting in front of the computer until 4 p.m. and then watching to see what's moving after hours, because that's that right there is FOMO. You're afraid of missing a move. You've already screwed up. You're in the red, and now you're refusing to let yourself just walk away. And those are days where it can spiral. So, the one thing that I've been pretty good at, and I'm grateful for, is I cut my losses at a certain point, and when that's done, it's done, and I walk away. So I do have red days, and I have them as a frequency maybe a little more than I might like, once a week roughly. But I stop, once I'm down more than $5,000, 90% of the time, maybe more. I have my biggest red day in the last year or so has been about $8,000, which is about the same as today. It's a day where I was down 4,000, 5,000, right at my max loss, took one more trade, and then was below it, and that was it. So that's, for me, that's risk management, and this is coming from someone who's made over $12 million in gross profit. So, in the last 90 days, I've probably made well over 100,000. So, I'm fairly consistent. I certainly have weeks and months where I'm doing better than others, but one of the things that has been key to my success has been walking away when it's bad. Even if I overstay a little bit longer than I should, I'm not someone who just goes full tilt, all out, until I either recoup losses that day or I blow up my account. So, and there, this is something to really look at in your trading, is cut your losses quickly and move on, to the next day. Just water under the bridge. So today's a little bit of a setback, because I had, it was up 6,000 a week ago, 18,000 a week ago Friday, and then I was up 3 on Monday, 5 on Tuesday, and 1,500 or so yesterday. So an $8,000 red day. Oops. An $8,000 red day today is a little bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. It's all, in a sense, it's already water under the bridge. I try to tell myself not to lose more than I can make in a good day, and if I'm not down more than what I can make in a good day, then I shouldn't really worry too much about the loss, because it's negligible. It's not even close to the biggest loss I've ever had. It's obviously not the biggest green day I've ever had, but it's just an in-between day, and this is just part of trading. And this is what's very hard about trading, and why it's so difficult, is that you just have to simply find a way to get okay with the fact that you're going to be wrong, or lose money a certain percentage of time, which means you're going to have a certain percentage of days where you close in the red, and that, no matter how long you trade, it's going to happen, unless you're a market maker. But if you're a trader, that's how it's going to be. So if you're red today, or if you watched a stock go up 200% and you lost money on it, I am right there with you. I know how it feels. It is frustrating, but some days are like this. Some stocks are like that, being very whippy with big spreads and very choppy. And, in hindsight, these are the higher risk stocks that I'm really trying to avoid for the most part. But the lure of the big win sometimes calls me back. And on a day today where I was already in the red, I think I had a bit of a weakness for jumping in something that was moving quickly because I had the chance of recouping my loss. So that's something to certainly be aware of and be careful of in your trading. And yeah, that's it for me. I just thought I'd come on here and let you know that I screwed up and had a disappointing afternoon trading today. And if you're in the same boat as me, we'll try it tomorrow to be more disciplined. And I hope that tomorrow we have better stocks on the gap scanner, because the gap scanner today was terrible. And that's something that's really tough for me, is when the gap scanner is bad, just being like, oh, well, so should I not trade at all? And that might be the right answer, but it's hard to accept that sometimes, especially, you get up, you sit down, you want to trade, you feel like that's your job. But it is okay to have no trade days. I say that to myself because I don't like no trade days. It doesn't feel okay for me. But I got to work on that. That's something that I need to work on. So anyways, I just thought I'd update you on my my just embarrassing performance on rkda, and live to trade another day, water under the bridge, move on, move forward, and hopefully I can finish the week with a small green day on Friday, and then have the weekend to kind of just let it go and then be back at it on Monday. All right, I hope you guys had a better day than me, but either way, I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. All right, see you guys in the morning.